Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chef Jeff's Kitchen. For this morning, we're making fresh clam and linguini with clam sauce. It's one of my favorite dishes. You can make it for 2 or you can make it for 20, and it's relatively inexpensive. This morning, we're using these small clams that were grown in acetate. I always save the tag and look at where and when the clams were harvested to make sure they're fresh. And these were from Tom's Cove, Virginia. All shellfish that you buy has to have that with it. It's the law. So these are relatively small. I like these because they don't take up a lot of room in the pan. If you can't find these little ones at your Safeway or Giant, you can get bigger ones, but obviously you use fewer. So I've melted the butter in our pot here. Lisa, if you want to get your phone there, I'm just going to put our clams in a large skillet like this. We're going to get those babies heated up, and I've already cut some garlic up. So we're going to stick some garlic in there with them. And I always like to use shallots because they're better than onions in my view. They have a wonderful flavor. And for clams, they just seem to add that flavor. So I had already put about 3/4 stick of butter in the pot. And we're just going to cover this and cook these clams until they open. Meanwhile, we've got our water for the pasta warming up. And we'll bring that to a boil, and then we'll stick our pasta in there. It takes about 8 or 9, 10 minutes, depending how much. And while that's all going on, we're going to make our sauce. I like to make the sauce separately and then add it to the clams. You don't have to. You can just add it directly to the clams. But today, I'm using the Bumble Bee Tuscan red clam sauce. I like this because it has a slightly different flavor. The Tuscan adds. And I also brought with us today, this is a store brand, just a red clam sauce. But we put her in here. I'm going to add a little garlic in there. Just always like garlic. We're going to heat that up. And I always like to add chopped clams. Now, you'll see it says chopped clams. The other is minced. Minced are very small pieces. Chopped, you really get more clam, if you will. So I always use chopped clams. When we stick the chopped clams in here, that's going to get real clammy. I did reserve some of the clam juice, which I'm going to put a little in our sauce, just because it adds so much flavor, but I don't want to get it too liquidy. I want to keep a little consistency in there, and that's why I have a little tomato paste. If this is too thin, I will just stick a little tomato paste in there. But right now, we're going to heat that up. Our water's going. Our clams are looking mighty fine. Boy, does that smell good. Whew. It always gets me hungry smelling that garlic cooking like that. I mentioned to Kip that we were going to put in a couple. We'll stick a couple of these Clamato olives in there. Now, I'm worried about knives. I don't know if you guys are knife snobs or not, but I've always used German knives, and I think that they're very, very high quality. They keep the blade sharp. But this Christmas, my son, who is a very good cook, turned me on to Japanese knives. Now this is a shun knife made in Japan. It's lighter, but boy is it sharp, and you can really. I see why the sushi guys are so good, because these knives can really, really cut so well. They're expensive, but they keep a blade, and I have 1 or 2 really good knives, then the rest just kind of pedestrian. But good knife makes a difference. You don't cut yourself when the knife is sharp. Dull knives, you cut yourself. So keep your knives sharp. Put in the olives there. Lisa, do we have any questions yet? Kip, do we have any questions yet?
Folks can just unmute anytime, and Jeff is happy to hear your questions or your comments as we go along.
This is Cindy. Hi, thanks for doing this, Jeff.
Oh, sure.
I have a comment about clams. So in North Beach, there's Chesapeake's Bounty, and they seem to always have fresh seafood, including clams from Maryland. So just, for the people that live here.
So one of the things that I didn't say is that I soak those clams for about an hour in cold water and rinse them off. Why'd I do that? I'm from Cape Cod, and we used to dig our clams, and they would always come out of the mud. And so you'd let them purify themselves. They'd kick out the mud that's inside of them if you let them soak in water for an hour. These, however, are aquaculture. These are actually grown, and so they don't have much sand or mud in them, but I still let them soak just to clean themselves out, so there's no grit or anything left. Okay, our clams are open, Lisa. Looks good. Turn the camera on there. Okay, smells good. Let's get our spoon. Yeah, that's looking good. Okay, you can see that butter in there. Yeah. We've got our hot water cooking. I'm just gonna stick this whole pound in there. I would never eat this much by itself, but we're gonna have family over later, and hopefully they'll enjoy some of this later. While that's cooking, do you want to turn the timer on there, Lisa?
Yeah.
Please, for balance. Yeah. And now we're going to put our clam sauce right in with the clams. Look at that. See how much clams is in there? So good.
So Jeff, did you see, so you saw that they all opened before you threw that in?
Yep, they all opened.
Okay, thanks.
And I can tell already that it's going to be a little bit thin. So I'm going to, and if there's one or two that haven't opened, this is going to be sitting on the stove. And if they hadn't opened, they'll open now. But yeah, they had. I think I'm going to add a little bit of my Italian seasoning, because we are doing Italian here. This is oregano. And I'm going to stick in just a little bit of, I use kosher salt, Morton's, coarse, just a little salt. And let that cook in. Meanwhile, I'm going to mix a little tomato paste, try to get that a little thicker. Sometimes the clams have a lot of water in them, and sometimes they don't. So that affects how liquidy the sauce actually is. So what's just going to do is put. I told you I saved that clam juice. So I'm going to just put a little tomato paste in here and add a little clam juice. And mix that up. This will be a little thickener for that. See how I use that clam juice? Everything clammy. I said clammy, not cammy. Okay. Stick a little in there. Like I said, if it's not too liquidy, that's fine. I like to have it a little thicker. So we'll let this heat up. And our pasta, let's check our pasta. That's doing great. It's boiling big time. Let's turn this up. Lisa, put the bread in the oven. Bread takes about 8 minutes, and I think we're on schedule. The one thing I forgot at the store was Italian parsley to add on top. So I'm just going to put grated cheese and hope that you guys remember to get the parsley that I forgot. While that's cooking, we rinse our pans out so we recycle all that stuff, get cleaned up. Okay, boy, that looks good. It smells good. Let's just put this top on and let that simmer in there for a little bit. How long till pasta?
6 minutes.
6 minutes, okay. So I'm going to grate the little cheese to put on top. Usually I use Parmesan or this is a block of Romano. Romano I like. Pretty strong cheese. And we'll just get some of this, so we throw that on top because you can't have Italian clams linguini without cheese.
No, you can't.
Hey, Jeff, as a confessed knife snob, how do
Yeah.
you sharpen your knives? Do you use steel or something else?
The old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Kip.
That's what.
It's just it's the way my father taught me. And what I should do, what I like to do, is every couple of years take the knives to a professional knife sharpener. It's about $15 a blade, but they do such a nice job. And it's really worth it to get it professionally sharpened. Okay. Lisa Marie, how are we doing over there?
Good.
Okay, our pasta's just about done. Our clams are really, really kicking in there. Spoon. Oh, yeah. We're going to enjoy this. Sometimes Lisa will just get the clams, just take the clams out of the shell and just eat that. That's not fair. Rest of it. So for those who don't know, I think everybody does recall that I used to be junior warden and senior warden and acolyte and anything else Father Ken wanted me to do. And I miss it dearly, but we belong to Christ Church here on the island. And it's a good Christian community. So we're happy about that. But I always say, you can leave All Saints, but you can't take All Saints out of me. Okay. How we doing? Kept on time, all right?
Doing great, Jeff.
Yeah, that pasta's cooking good. I think our clams are all set. They're ready to go. Turn the heat down. We don't want to overcook them. But boy, this is vegetarian, as you notice. So we usually make it on Fridays because meatless Friday, and it's a good Friday winter meal. It's also in the summer. Eat out on the picnic table, and you can make big helpings of this stuff. Everybody, the pasta goes a long way if you're having a crowd. All right, Lisa.
2 minutes on the pasta.
2 minutes on the pasta. We're just going to grab our bowl here. Of course, you can't have this without adding just a touch of optional wine. That will help us add a little flavor to that. So Lisa, you're going to be the experiment, right?
Sure.
Wait up. Good.
Jeff, is this recipe from any particular region of Italy?
Any particular region of Italy?
This, you mean this dish?
Yes.
It originated on Cape Cod.
Oh, yeah, okay, fine. Well, that part of Italy. Okay, got it.
No, I don't know. I'm so goofy. I love clams. We put this together. Lisa said, "You ought to make that." It was good. I had to come up with a recipe because I usually just cook by cooking. But okay, I think we're done with the pasta. Is it al dente?
Yeah.
All righty. Okay. So we are going to strain our pasta. Watch out, women and children. That's a lot of pasta here. Okay. When I made the pasta, I put in some olive oil and a little salt, keep it fresh. And now I'm going to, once again, just add a drop or two of good olive oil. Stir that in so that it doesn't stick together and stays loose. Okay, now the bowl. We get some of our pasta. Mhm. Yeah, this is nicely done al dente. And then we get our spoon, get our clams. Clams on top. Make sure you get plenty of liquid on there with all that clams. Okay. You can see why I like the smaller clams, because you can get more of them on your plate. Okay. Now, let's stick a little of our cheese on top. And bon appetit. There you have it, Kip.
We forgot that.
Beautiful.
The bread is coming.
What's the wine, Jeff?
Cook up the sauce for the nice little Italian garlic bread. So, any questions?
Yeah, what red wine are you sipping this early in the morning?
It's last night's Merlot. It's Malbec. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun, and at least you're going to try it.
Absolutely. Let me just a little bit.
I'd eat it for breakfast.
I would too.
Oh, for sure.
Hey, Jeff, how far ahead can you, I understand the pasta, not at all, but the clams and sauce, how far ahead could you fix that and still have it be the way you'd want it when you serve people?
I haven't tried. I usually make it,
Fresh.
serve it, Kip. I haven't tried, but we'll let you know this afternoon, because we'll see how it. I'll send you an email, but usually it's so quick, that 15, 20 minutes you can make dinner, and for 4 people you could make it for $20. Clams and all the other stuff's another 10, 15. So it's a pretty inexpensive meal, and it's good for you.
The smile on Lisa's face indicates his success here.
Yeah, you beat out Rachel Ray.
Yeah.
That's
That was
wonderful.
really fast.
Yeah.
It does. And that's wonderful
It is.
for such an
Especially for
elegant dish.
People are working.
We used to send our boys recipes that we thought were appropriate for date nights, simple to do, quick to do, and would probably be really impressive. And this would be one for that list.
Mhm.
Yeah. Have you tried it with any other seafood, any other shellfish?
I have not, but I think shrimp. You could throw shrimp in there for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. That's what I was
What?
thinking about.
Since it was Friday, last night I made flounder and scallops, and I got some squid, the tubes, and I sliced them up, and then lay that in a pan, a baking pan, and then mix creme fraiche with 2 tablespoons of ground mustard and 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, and you mix that all up, and you put in 2 tablespoons of capers, which really flavor. And you make that sauce, and you just cover the fish with that. Put it in the oven for about 15 minutes, and boy, is that delicious.
Wow.
You're looking
Sounds
for
great.
Oh yeah, it's quick, it's easy. Creme fraiche, that's what makes a difference. Yeah.
Where
So
do
you
you
done,
get
Lacey?
creme fresh?
At the market in the cheese aisle. Kip, I'm sure you've seen it. It comes in a little container.
Yeah,
Creme
I
fraiche.
think Harris Teeter has it in this
Yeah.
area.
I guess that's it, Kip.
That's
Well, thanks so
wonderful.
much.
And we got
Yay.
an extra bonus recipe too. Wow. Thanks, babe.
Yeah,
I'll be
thanks very
calling.
much. was
Good to
wonderful.
see you and everything.
And
Yeah.
compliments to your technical staff there,
Your
Lisa.
director.
Wonderful job.
Excellent job.
What a
It's a
team.
team effort.
It is.